Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the Worshipful, the Mayor of Kirklees, Nigel Patrick.
It would help if I turn it on. Welcome to Huddersfield Town Hall for mayor making. Are you ready, Councillor Arman? Item 1, election of the mayor. Could I please have nominations for the mayor, Councillor Dadd? I know you've been given 5 minutes, but if you want to go a little bit longer, I won't stop you.
Is this on? Brilliant, thank you. Deputy Lieutenant, members of council, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure I propose my good friend and dear colleague, Councillor Masood Ahmed, as the next mayor of Kirklees. As we all know, the past couple of years have been quite extraordinary globally, and so is today's mayor making. Usually, at events like today, you'd find the deputy mayor being proposed to become the next mayor. But we all know Masood hasn't been deputy mayor. You just had to do things differently, Masood. Saying that, I have the full confidence that he'll grab the bull by its horns, step into the role, and hit the ground running. Being a good role model and leader are two things Masood had no choice in being from the offset. I suppose no one would have the choice if they were the eldest of 5 boys. Masood's always been a family man, and as the saying goes, home is where the heart is, and his home, family and heart have always been in Dewsbury. After completing his education and graduating from Birmingham University, Masood started his career as an outreach worker at the then-known Halifax Road campus of Dewsbury College. His passion for giving back to the very community he came from has always been at the forefront of all the roles he's held. Masood has over the years earned himself a lot of respect, be that cross-party here in the council or out there in the various diverse communities he engages with on a regular basis. He's a likeable character and people hold him in high regard. This is something he will bring to his mayorship this year. As many in the room will know and have experienced, politics is sometimes a thankless job. For all the years that I've known Masood, and let me tell you, it's a lot of years, I've known him all my life and I'm 33 this year. Sorry, Masood, I've given away your age, but I suppose there are some things that no amount of hair dye can cover. He has always been a selfless individual. Putting others first and commitment are not new concepts for Masood. He has always worked with communities from the grassroots. May that be through the play schemes he ran for young people to be involved in during the summer holidays, the football coaching on a weekend, or more recently, as part of the COVID response charity, providing essentials to those most in need. For all the hard work and dedication he has put into communities over the course of his career, which you all know now spans over 3 decades, I know no one more deserving than Masood himself to become the first citizen of Kirklees. I'm excited to see what this year brings, and I don't have a shadow of doubt that Masood's year in office will be great and successful with the support of his beautiful daughter and Mayoress Iram and his entire family. Today is not alone a proud moment for Masood, but also for the 4 generations of his family sat in the balcony above, which include his 92-year-old father and 1-year-old granddaughter. His father arrived here during the late 60s as a migrant worker, and like many fathers of his generation, I don't think in his wildest dreams he ever imagined being here witnessing this very moment. So let today be an example of what people can achieve when given the opportunity. Sadly, Masood's mother is no longer with him, and as sorely as she is missed today, I have no doubt she is watching proudly from above at all that her son has achieved. I move that Councillor Masood Ahmed is hereby elected Mayor of the Council of the Metropolitan Borough of Kirklees for the municipal year from now until his successor accepts office and signs the required declaration. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Dadd. Could I please call on Councillor Zaman to second the nomination? Again, you've got 2 minutes, but keep going if you must.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Deputy Lieutenant, members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to second Councillor Masood Ahmed to become Mayor of Kirklees Metropolitan Borough Council. Masood and I are childhood friends. We both attended Birkdale High School in Dewsbury. We have been on this journey for around 42 years now, and we've always been supportive of each other. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would be stood here seconding him for such an honourable position. For those who know Masood and think he's a bit crazy, well, you do know him quite well then. He likes his funky hairstyles and spends an awful lot of time at the hairdressers ensuring he looks the part. Hence, he's been given the title of Goldilocks by his former colleague and best friend. His funky dress sense has always been appealing to the youth and his peers alike. He has always wanted to stand out from the crowd, and he still does. Let me take you back to our school days, which was in the 80s. Looking back, now it feels like educating Yorkshire or Waterloo Road. Masood loved to follow the older boys as he wanted to portray himself as a tough guy, even though this landed him in trouble. Just as his boys did, he would forget his homework or even forget to do his homework. For him, detention and standing outside the head teacher's office at break times regularly seemed a great experience. Moreover, coming back from the office, having been caned, made him feel macho and gained kudos amongst his peers. So now you must be thinking, really, is that the Masood we know? Let me share a little story with you. So there was one time at school that I recall in a PE lesson. We were doing a cross-country run on a set route. Well, Masood and his smart boys decided to take a shortcut through people's gardens and they damaged the flower beds. On arrival back at school, they had 2 male teachers waiting for them at the entrance, as one of the residents had already gone into school and complained, which obviously Masood and his little crew didn't know about. The teacher said to Masood and the boys, "You've done well coming back before everyone." Masood and his little crew got really excited, thinking, wow, we're going to get a pat on the back that we're the first ones back. Little did they know the next stage was in the head teacher's office to meet Brutus. For Masood, these rebellious years shaped him into a positive role model for young Asian men from deprived backgrounds. He came from a working class background and saw his father work hard to make ends meet. This is when he realized the importance of education and buckled down and went to college and university, graduating in a BA marketing degree and a postgraduate at Birmingham University. After completing university, he came back to his roots in Dewsbury and started work at Dewsbury College as an outreach worker. As it happened, it was just coincidence that I had just started working for Kirklees Council, and I was a qualified youth and community worker, and I was a trainer for level 1 youth work. So when we met up, we talked about him becoming a youth worker, and he joined the Youth Work Foundation training course, and I trained him as a casual youth worker. He qualified and got a job as a sessional youth worker, and then he joined my team in delivering youth work sessions around Huddersfield. That's when he entered the fast lane. I'm not sure how this came about, but he was assigned to shadow me, and I became his mentor. And for some unknown reason, this legacy still carries on. Masood has demonstrated that he is one of the most selfless, caring, and honest and humble people I know. Now, hats off to his wife, Jamila. Jamila is the real jewel in the crown. Behind every successful man is a woman, and that woman is Jamila. Married at a tender age of 16, a mother of 6 children and a grandmother to 3 children, she has been the backbone, the primary carer, the soundboard, and the homemaker, becoming the matriarch of the family after the loss of her mother-in-law. At a tender age, she was a strong woman managing and leading this family, which enabled Masood to be a success on his journey. In our co-worker years as a councillor, Masood has set up youth initiatives, helping young people into jobs and training, working with elderly groups, setting up these groups, supported women's groups, delivered drugs awareness training for young people in the area, and much, much more. He is in a very privileged position to be able to support communities with the challenges they face. His community focus as mayor will build on a lifetime of helping others. I know he takes great pride in representing Kirklees, and he will do a great job in representing Kirklees and the citizens. Therefore, I move that Councillor Masood Ahmed is hereby elected Mayor of the Council of the Metropolitan Borough of Kirklees for the municipal year from now until his successor accepts office and signs the required declaration. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Zaman. Are there any further nominations? If not, all those in favour, councillors? Any against? Carried. Thank you.
Deputy Lieutenant, members of the council, ladies and gentlemen, while the mayor dons the robes of office, entertainment will be provided by the choirs of Pentland Infant and Nursery School and Headland Junior School. Please be upstanding while the mayor retires.
will start me learning, create my dreams and future, and I will feel empowered from within. I got the power in me, you got the power in you. I got the power, got the power in me. Nobody's gonna hold me back, nobody's gonna silence my words, nobody's gonna close my mind. I got the power in me. We got the power, you got the power, I got the power in me. We got the power, you got the power, I got the power in me. We got the power, you got the power, I got the power in me. We got the power, you got the power, I got the power in me. I got the power in me, in me. I got the power in me, you got the power in you. I got the power, got the power in me. Nobody's gonna hold me back, nobody's gonna silence my words, nobody's gonna close my mind. I got the power in me.
Deputy Lieutenant, members of the council, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the worshipful, the Mayor of Kirklees.
I, Masood Ahmed, have been elected to the office of Mayor of the Council of the Borough of Kirklees, hereby declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly faithfully fulfill the duties of it, according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the code as to the conduct which is expected of members of the Council of the Borough of Kirklees.
The retiring mayor will now place the chain of office on the new mayor of Kirklees.
So,
It's your speech. Speech.
Deputy Lieutenant, members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of God, the most merciful and compassionate, I would like to take this opportunity to express my thanks to the outgoing Mayor, Nigel Patrick. This is a very special day for me and my family, and I would like to thank everyone here today for sharing it with me. A day that I never imagined. A local boy born in Dewsbury and District Hospital from a poor migrant family becoming the first citizen of Kirklees. I owe my parents everything. My father came to the UK in the early 1950s as an economic migrant, leaving behind his own family to help build our great country after the Second World War. Along with 21 others, he lived in a single terraced house when he worked at Waldman and Walker Blanking Mill in Dewsbury, working double shifts to provide for his young family. My dad is 92 years old and is at the back of the hall. I love you, Dad. While my father was working, me and my 4 brothers were raised by my late beloved mother, who passed away in 1995. She taught us the value of family, community, faith. I am the man I am today because of my mother. I want to also thank my family for the support they have given me over the years as a councillor, my wife and children, and my brothers and their families. I must make special mention to my daughter Iram and thank her for agreeing to be by my side as my mayoress for the coming year. Thank you, Iram. I'm blessed to have so many friends. There are a number of you seated on the balcony and on the floor who have played a pivotal role in my life and journey to where I am today. I think you know who you all are. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you all. My parents instilled in me the virtues of being a voice for the voiceless, being an advocate for the meek, being a representative for the forgotten. For the past 16 years, I've served the constituents of Dewsbury South with the same values and passion as the first day I was elected in 2006. I want to thank the voters for putting their trust in me, to being me their voice, their advocate, and their representative. Our fine borough is a home to many people of many faiths and of none, all playing their full role in civic and national life. Kirklees families, communities, charities, and businesses went through a very difficult time during the pandemic. We are slowly coming out of the pandemic. We still need to be cautious, but the road ahead is getting clearer and safer. As the mayor, I want to reach out and visit many families, communities, charities, and businesses as possible to let them know we are here for them and to support them to get things back to normal, whatever the new normal is. Khalil Gibran, the great poet, said, "Out of suffering has emerged the strongest souls, the most massive characters, and seared with scars." It was a difficult decision to choose a mayoral charity. As I've worked with a number of charities, in my role as a councillor, many of which are very close to my heart. I'm keen to support them and all other charities in the borough who I want to encourage to approach me to attend your events, as I want to champion the great work you all do. My nominated mayoral charity for the year is Forget Me Not Children's Hospice. Forget Me Not Children's Hospice is very close to my heart. I'm keen to support them. Close to my heart. As a parent who has lost 2 children, I can personally relate to the fantastic work they do at a very sensitive time for families who are going through terrible tragedy. Forget Me Not Children's Hospice supports children with life-shortening conditions and their families in West Yorkshire. They are here for any family confronted with the news that their child has a life-shortening condition. They provide superb nursing care, creative therapy, hydrotherapy, days out, memory making, end of care, bereavement support and counselling. They help families make the most of every moment they have together. I would urge you all to support the Mayor's charity so we can support families when they need our help the most. I'd like to say some really important thank yous today. I'd like to thank my proposer, Councillor Nosheen Dad. Still thinking about all those stories you've told about me. And seconder, Councillor Habiban Zaman, for the speeches. I would like to thank the school choirs, my old school, Edfield Junior, and Pendant Infant and Nursery School, where I held my marriage reception. Huge thank you to Gordon Stewart, the organist. It is an honor to have him join us today and play on such a special day for me. Thank you to my dearest grandchildren, Ariane, Mikhail, my lovely nieces, Zoya and Elena. I can't forget my cheeky nephew, Musa, the gift bearers. I would also like to announce that I've appointed a mayor's cadet to work with me from West Yorkshire Police. His name is Oliver Waterhouse. Finally, I'm very much looking forward to working with Oliver throughout my mayoral term of office. Finally, I would like everyone to join me to wish Huddersfield Town Football Club, I've got to mention them, and Huddersfield Giants Good luck for the weekend. Let's hope they bring back home the trophy. Come on, boys. Can I please call upon Councillor David Hall to move the vote of thanks to Nigel Patrick?
Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, may I be among the first to congratulate you on taking your office, and I hope you have a super year.
Thank you.
I'd like to propose, in fact I'm delighted to propose, this vote of thanks to Nigel Patrick for his year as Mayor. This is the culmination of a career in local government, which started as an officer of a council, Leeds Council, I think. He then became elected to the Home Valley Parish Council, where he became chairman. And then in 2002, he was elected to office in Kirklees for the Home Valley South Ward. And in that time, he served as the ward member, as group whip of the Conservative group, and as chairman of Overview and Scrutiny, and latterly as mayor, with, I have to say, a lot of distinction. Those of us that know Nigel will know that he likes things done properly. And if they're not done properly, he tells you. And I've been on the end of that, as I'm sure some of you have, and I'm sure many of an officer will attest to that too. But it's because he has a great dedication to what he does, and it's because he wants to do the best that he can. And I think that's great credit to him. And those things he has carried out in his role of mayor with great aplomb. It has to be said, we know what's happened in the world in the past couple of years with the pandemic, and I'm sure this has affected his civic commitment slightly. I'm sure it hasn't dented his enjoyment of the year, but it shows you that he was determined to get the office of mayor up and running again. He's been out and about. People have enjoyed his visit across Kirklees, and I'm sure he's had a very successful and very entertaining year. Now, the other thing about Nigel, of course, is that Nigel is a true Yorkshireman, as we all know. He's very proud of where he comes from, and he served his residents there for a long time now in the Holmfirth area. And he reminded me, actually, about a little story about a chap that came from Holmfirth. I mustn't say Holmfirth. It's frightfully posh. I should say Holmfirth, like they do there. About a Yorkshireman that came from Holmfirth, and he was about to go on holiday. He was going to have his holiday to France. And so he asked his mate, he was a bit worried about it, he said, "I can't speak French. What shall I do?" And his friend replied, "Well, it's very easy. You speak loudly and slowly, and you wave your arms about, and they'll understand you." So, "Oh, all right, well, I'll give it a go." And so off he goes to Paris on his holidays, and this man from Holmfirth decides that he would like to go for a drink in the bar. And so on his first night, he goes down for a drink in the bar, and he says to the barman, "Hello?" And the barman says to the chap, "Hello? What would you like?" And the Yorkshireman says, "I would like a Stella Artois, please." And the barman says, "Certainly, sir." And he brings his drink back. He says, "Are you from England?" "Yes," said the Yorkshireman. "I am from England. I am from Holmfirth." "Oh," said the barman, "that's a coincidence. I am from Holmfirth." "Oh." So the Yorkshireman says, "Well, if you are from Omforth and I am from Omforth, why are we speaking French? Anyway, I've no idea what Nigel's French accent is like, but I'm sure that doesn't apply to him. I think it's important today to remember, amongst all this pomp and ceremony of this occasion, that being a councillor, being mayor, is all about service, and that's what we're here for. And Nigel has served the people of Kirklees throughout his tenure as a councillor, and particularly as mayor, with great dignity and humour and dedication, and of course with the advantage of Judith to support him all the way through. And that sums up Nigel to a T: dignity, humour, dedication. And so I wish you very well for the future, Nigel, and thank you for all your efforts. And I will formally move that the best of thanks of the council are due and hereby tendered to Nigel Patrick for the efficient and dignified manner in which he has performed the important and varied duties of the office of mayor during the period May 2021 to May 2022. And also that the hearty thanks of the council be tendered to Mrs. Judith Patrick for her services as mayoress.
Can I please call upon Councillor Michael Watson to second the vote of thanks to Nigel Patrick?
Deputy Lieutenant, members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mayor, may I be the second to congratulate you on your acceptance of office today. A year ago, it was a privilege to stand here to second the nomination of Councillor, as he then was, Patrick, to the office of Mayor. And it is also a privilege today to offer the thanks of the Council and also my own personal thanks to Nigel. And what I have to say here really falls under three headings. The first is in relation to community. And as David has already said, Nigel has loyally and faithfully served the community of Home Valley South for in total 26 years. 20 as a councillor on this council and 6 as a parish councillor. And my experience of working with Nigel is that he's been a very dedicated, very committed holder of that post. As councillors, we know it's not a 9-to-5 job. We have work to do at weekends and evenings, things crop up unexpectedly. And Nigel has taken everything in his stride and has worked selflessly and with great commitment to give his best for the people of Home Valley South. And for that, I thank him. In relation to the mayoralty, thanks go to Nigel for an excellent year in what I think are recognised as difficult circumstances. His taking up the office was postponed, but when he finally took up the office, he's rolled his sleeves up and he's got stuck in. And I remember one of the first things that he said to me when he was appointed was that he wanted to get out and about and come and see the people of Denbydale Ward. And he has done that, as has Judith. They've worked as an excellent team, and therefore I offer my personal thanks for everything that they have both done as an excellent team there. And the final point that I'd like to say is personal. I came to the council 7 years ago, I think it was now, and when you join the council, you join a political group like you do, if you've got no great experience of that, it can be slightly daunting. And at the time, Nigel was the group business manager, and he was steadfast in offering guidance, support, encouragement, and a little bit of dry humour at times as well. And for that, I am very grateful, because it was invaluable to have someone of Nigel's experience and expertise to lead one through the process of becoming a councillor and representing the people of Denbydale Ward. So I too would conclude with the formality of saying that I second the proposal that the best thanks of the council are due and are hereby tendered to Nigel Patrick for the efficient and dignified manner in which he has performed the important and varied duties of the office of Mayor during the period of May 2021 through to May 2022. and also that the hearty thanks of the Council be tendered to Mrs Judith Patrick for her services as Mayoress. Thank you.
All those in favour? That's carried.
The Mayor will now present the retiring Mayor and Mayoress with a past Mayor and Mayoress's badge in recognition of their term of office. These are presented to all mayors as they leave office and can be worn by them on civic occasions.
Can I please call upon Can I please call on Nigel Patrick to reply?
Deputy Lieutenant, Mr Mayor, members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen. Mr Mayor, can I start by offering my best wishes to you and Councillor Burke. I know you will both enjoy your roles as Mayor and Deputy Mayor respectively. Councillor Burke, you were a very naughty boy at council meetings, pushing the boundaries, upsetting the Mayor, and in no time at all you will be in the hot seat. I only hope Councillor Bolt is kinder to you than he was to me. As many of you know, I announced my retirement from politics earlier in the year, and I now stand before you as a free man, and it feels good. I keep looking at that sentence and thinking, if I transgressed and ran across the streets of Huddersfield naked, I'd get away with it. But I realised, not that I'm going to do that, by the way, but I realised that Tony at the back would write something that said, former mayor of Kirklees runs naked across Huddersfield town centre. So I don't think I'm entirely free from the council. I've been lucky enough to end 20 years of service to the Home Valley as Mayor of Kirklees. It's an honour, and I have the people of Home Valley South to thank for giving me the opportunity. I also have my family to thank for their support throughout all those years. I just want to add, I didn't put this in the speech, but I just wanted to add thank you to Councillor Hall and Councillor Michael Watson for their kind words. Not sure about the French joke, but I do, you know, what can I say? It's been a challenging year with the pandemic and the restrictions in place, but together, Team Civic has risen to the challenge and carried out this most important role to the best of their ability. I'd like to thank the civic team for their support. I'd also like to thank former Councillor Akhtar, the outgoing Deputy Mayor, for his contribution and support. I know he can't be here today, I don't think he's here today, but I'd like to wish him well for the future. We are very lucky in Kirklees to have strong communities, resilient people and great businesses. My objective at the outset was to visit as many people as possible throughout the borough, and COVID was not going to stop me. We started the year with a largely empty diary with restrictions in place. The engagements were on, then off, some postponed, some cancelled, some rearranged. The diary was looking very messy. We kept going, visits were generated, a cheeky ask here, a cheeky ask there. How about inviting the Mayor to visit your factory? How about we have lunch at your restaurant to celebrate American Independence Day? I visited key workers to say thank you, our refuse collectors who had worked through and seen no one, the firefighters on call and volunteering at vaccination centres. We owe a lot to a great many people. As the restrictions changed, the diary began to fill. Those civic engagements that we prepared for were going to take place after all. No more videos, thank goodness for that. We were now able to hold civic receptions and attend all sorts of functions. As the restrictions lifted, there was an opportunity to meet people again, to shake hands, to sing in church, to visit schools. The masks came off. The smiling eyes became smiling faces. People often ask me how the year has been, and they are surprised when I say I am content. It has gone well. No ordinary year, difficult but fulfilling. I have achieved most of my objectives. I have visited people across the borough. I have reached out to different faiths and cultures. I am a richer person for the experience. And I look forward to meeting people in my new role and continuing to build those new friendships. We've had a good year, and by we, of course, I mean the Mayoress Judith, who has attended many engagements with me. And anybody that knows her and has seen her perform at these engagements, she can talk, so that gives me the opportunity to have a bit of a rest. Because there's no escape for the Mayor. There is no hiding place for the Mayor. You can't have a quiet moment because everybody wants to talk to you. So it's great if you've got a Mayoress with you that can take some of that burden off you. Not that it's a bad burden, it's a great burden. So I talk about me a lot in this speech and what the role of Mayor of Kirklees has meant to me. The role of Mayor is the important bit. The role of Mayor should not be underestimated. All those councillors in this room who have served as Mayor of Kirklees will know what I mean when I say the people of Kirklees recognise the importance of the role. Sadly, I think the importance of the role, as seen from within the council, has lessened. I think the Mayor can do much more to connect with the people, the communities and the businesses, particularly when the council can be out of step with the same. People talk to mayors, mayors listen. There's an opportunity to grow a stronger bond and bridge gaps. There are two people who have been great companions during the year, the two Steves. One of them isn't here today, but I would like to say thank you for looking after us. I will never forget the fun we've had, especially at school visits. I am sure that the teachers were unable to control any of the classes after we left. When I asked Reverend Sean to be the Mayor's chaplain, he said he wanted to be involved in things. I hope I achieved that. I know the civic service at Christchurch New Mill was particularly good, with guest speakers from other faiths. The armed forces have figured high in the mayoral year, and so it was a good choice to have Joe Moutel on board as the mayor's cadet. I hope Joe enjoyed the experience, though I'm very sorry that we never managed to fly in a glider together. Then, of course, there was the mayor's charity. I had a small but perfectly formed charity committee who applied themselves to the task. We had met pre-COVID in 2019 to organise a programme of events for the 2020 mayoral year. That, of course, was cancelled, and we reconvened on Teams in the summer of 2020. The charity committee was still very keen to continue with most of the events we had prepared, despite the uncertainty and the possibility that we might have to cancel. In the end, we only had to cancel 3 events, and we managed to raise in the region of £30,000 for Home Valley Mountain Rescue. Can I take this opportunity to thank all the companies who sponsored the Mayor's charity throughout the year, all the people who donated money, and all the people who supported the charity. Thank you. Oops. I'm nearly finished. You're all right. Getting prompted by the Chief Executive again. I'm not a councillor anymore, you know.
Sorry. I thought you finished.
No. The next bit says, I could go on, but I won't. So I know that there are 69 councillors who will be looking forward to the business end of this AGM, and some of you will have speeches to prepare. I just want to end by saying a big thank you to everyone I've met during the course of the year, and I wish the new civics, Kirklees Council, and the councillors all the best. And I had, at the end of my speech as well, have you been nicking my speeches already? I had, at the end of my speech, to wish Huddersfield Town and the Giants all the best. But I don't think it matters if we repeat it. So thank you very much. I'll sit down now.
Thank you. Could I please now have nominations for Deputy Mayor? Councillor Anthony Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Deputy Lieutenant, members of Council, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, my congratulations to the new Mayor and Mayoress. Congratulations. It's my pleasure and privilege today to propose Councillor Carl Burke for the honour of becoming Deputy Mayor of Kirklees. I first met Carl some years ago at a Liberal Democrat residential training weekend, and we immediately hit it off. His energy and enthusiasm was immediately apparent and infectious, and it quickly became clear that we had a great deal more in common than our shared political values. This culminated in the weekend in our joint plot to discreetly excuse ourselves from the planned after-dinner entertainment, which was a succession of after-dinner talks from guest speakers, in favour of finding a nearby sports bar to watch a televised title boxing fight. And there, a lasting friendship was born that would lead eventually to me becoming a fellow ward councillor in our mutual home ward, Lindley. Councillor Burke, Cahal, is the epitome of a public servant and politician who aspires to office for all of the right reasons. Having studied computing at the University of Huddersfield, Cahal went on to complete teacher training before working at several local colleges and schools, making Lindley his home, and it is here that he has spent the majority of his adult life, working and raising his family, embedded in the local community. It is in Lindley that he has forged his reputation as a people's champion and pillar of our community. Cathal was instrumental in the formation of Lindley Community Group, which he currently chairs and has been involved with for over 15 years. Under his careful stewardship, the group has been responsible for a great many good things in the Lindley area, including the creation and maintenance of the Lindley Community and Memorial Garden, taking on the responsibility for the iconic Lindley Clock Tower and arranging regular open days, putting on and arranging Lindley's award-winning big weekend of events, which takes place annually at the end of June. This includes a street party, a carnival, a junior run, and Lindley 10K, and the feat of organisation and the energy and commitment that he brings to events like this is just unmatched. He started the Lindley Christmas evening, put on the inaugural Huddersfield Youth Festival. He set up Lindley Running Club. He's been responsible for setting up and supporting litter picking groups across our area to keep our areas clean and tidy. He was instrumental in setting up the Lindley Food Bank drive, and he's provided countless opportunities for people in our community to volunteer, get involved, and a host of other community-led activities and initiatives across the ward. It's Carl's voluntary work that ultimately led him to stand for election as a local councillor. The primary driver not being political ambition, but as a vehicle to help more people and make a real difference in his own neighbourhood. And what a difference he has made. Cathal is an outstanding councillor, tenacious, hard-working and energetic. His 12 years in office thus far reflect a record of achievement for residents that is second to none. It really is no exaggeration to say that in the Lindley ward, everyone knows somebody who has been helped by Councillor Cathal Burke. He really is Mr. Lindley. There is nowhere we go where he is not recognised, and he always has time for a chat. In short, he's a nightmare to go out delivering leaflets with. Cathal's background in teaching gives him a particular insight into the needs and aspirations of young people in our area. And therefore, when presented with the opportunity to sit as a leading member on the Children's Scrutiny Panel for Kirklees Council, Cathal had no hesitation in stepping up and contributing, making a real and positive difference to the direction of the direction of the council's children's services over many years. He has also served on planning and licensing committees, been group business manager and deputy leader of Kirklees Liberal Democrat Group, and proved, when required, to be a willing and positive contributor on cross-party issues, putting party politics aside for the benefit of residents. I know that Cathal will bring the same enthusiasm and focus that he displays in his role as Lindley Ward Councillor and across the wider council to the role of Deputy Mayor. Cathal has proven himself to be an outstanding public servant and will be an exemplary ambassador for Kirklees. I am delighted to have him as a colleague and to call him a friend, and to propose him for the great honour of becoming Deputy Mayor of Kirklees. I therefore move that Councillor Cathal Burke is hereby appointed Deputy Mayor for the Council of the Metropolitan Borough of Kirklees for the ensuing municipal year. Thank you.
Thank you. Could I please call upon Councillor John Lawson to second the nomination?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and congratulations to you and the new Mayoress, and our group's thanks to the outgoing Mayor, Mr. and Mrs. Patrick. Thank you very much. Deputy Lieutenant, members of Council, ladies and gentlemen, I rise today to wholeheartedly second Councillor Burke's nomination for Deputy Mayor. Before doing the formal bit, I'd like to reflect for a moment on the outstanding contribution that Councillor Cathal Burke has made during his time as an elected member. Aside from the hard work in his own ward, Cahill has played a significant role in delivering the strategic work of the council, often at the less glamorous end of the scale. Keeping a committee focused on the business in hand is often a thankless task, as some of you in this room will know. But Cahill thrives in this arena. As a chair of committee, I've seen him pull members back on track, often with his dry sense of humour, sometimes with a movement of a single eyebrow, rather than a stern word. Although he's never been afraid to challenge unhelpful behaviours and attitudes if they threaten the outcomes for residents. There are two particular examples I'd point to. They've already been mentioned, but they're significant. And this is what you're getting as a new deputy mayor. The first is when he was the chair of the Overview and Scrutiny Panel for Children through some very difficult times. There was a tough job to do, but quietly and in the background, he managed to challenge where it was needed, sought clarity and gave support. His collegiate approach to that work was part of the mood at that time, and he excelled at that. The other is his roles that he had in our group. He's been our GBM and deputy leader, as Councillor Smith has already said. Both at times were by no means convenient to him in terms of his other roles with his family and his profession. But he stepped up when he was needed and did all the job in front of him. The point here is that when Cahill has agreed to do something, it's guaranteed you'll get full commitment. As far as Cahill's ambassadorial work for Kirklees, that's a job he's had in hand for some time now. Among other things, his commitment to fundraising, not least in the past, for other mayors' charities, is something that comes naturally to him. The council is getting a great team with Cahill and Lisa, and they will be a fantastic support for the mayor and the new mayoress, and I know they will have a great year. We were asked to keep this short, so I will. So it gives me the greatest of pleasure to read the following. I move that Councillor Cahill Burke is hereby appointed Deputy Mayor of the Council of the Metropolitan Borough of Kirklees for the ensuing municipal year. Thank you.
All those in favour? That's carried.
Deputy Lieutenant, members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen, please remain in your seats while the Deputy Mayor dons the robes of office.
to make the declaration of office and sign the declaration book.
I, Cathal Burke, having been appointed to the office of Deputy Mayor for the Council of the Borough Deputy Lieutenant, Mr. Mayor, members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen. Also to my parents who are here today, along with family and friends, and also staff and students from Batley Grammar School. On occasions like this, we often remember people who perhaps are not here, and I'd like to do that today. I'd like to remember those who are unwell, poorly, unable to attend, and also those who are no longer with us. I'd like to also remember especially my uncle who passed away last night, and I'd like to remember him today. Mr. Mayor, it's an honour and a privilege, first of all, to be re-elected, and I'd like to thank the people of the Linley Ward for re-electing me once again. And now, you members here present today afforded me the opportunity to take on the role of Deputy Mayor, a role which I value, appreciate and respect, and value the role of the office and the civic role. I will work to the best of my ability to fulfil all the roles and duties expected of me this year and to support the new Mayor. I'd like to thank my proposer and Linley Ward colleague, Councillor Anthony Smith. I could mention a few things. I was glad you stopped when you did about our little trip away. We have a good, very, very good working relationship, and I'm sure he's sick of me by now. But I'd like to thank you for your kind words. Very much appreciated and respected. We work tirelessly in our area, in our community, for the benefit of our communities and all of our residents. So thank you. Councillor Lawson, I'd like to thank you for seconding. We got elected together in 2010 and started on this journey together. Again, doing the best we can in our communities for all of our residents within council and trying to make lives better for everybody who we serve, upholding our proud liberal values and traditions. I'd also like to thank all of my colleagues here today and the help and support also from the civic office that I've received already. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to pay tribute to the outgoing Mayor, Nigel Patrick. I left this blank because I thought he might say something. First of all, I think I should apologise for my behaviour in council, in pushing boundaries at times perhaps, but doing it for all the good reasons and trying to represent the residents of Linley to the best of my ability and try and squeeze an extra minute or an extra opportunity wherever I could. Perhaps an opportunist at times. I've the utmost respect for you, Nigel, for our time together working on scrutiny, and when I was chair of the Children and Young People's Panel, and Nigel was a panel member and then chair of Overview and Scrutiny Management Committee. I always listened to Nigel, I always respected Nigel, and valued his opinion, advice, and guidance. I'd like to thank him also for everything he has done for the council over his time as a councillor, Kirklees, and also as a parish councillor, for the time, dedication, and work he has put in serving his community and his residents.
the various roles that you have held, and now finishing as Mayor of Kirklees. Thank you. Councillor Ahmed, I'd like to congratulate you, although I'm not the first, I'm sure there'll be many more today, on you becoming Mayor. I've known you personally since I got elected, again serving on different committees together, and most recently on the West Yorkshire Police and Crime Panel. I have served on the committees, worked with you, and again listened to you and valued your opinion and your assistance at times. We have got on personally as well, attending Huddersfield Town games together, through the good times and the bad, and hopefully the good times will come again. I'm looking forward to the year ahead, and I hope to be able to serve you as best I can, helping and assisting you and the Mayoress during the year ahead. For me, there are three main important roles of the civic role in today's society and local authorities. As a symbol of the authority, connects the present day with history, and it acts as a symbol of continuity. As a symbol of an open society, the new diversity, who we are, reflects the more open and democratic society where we now live, representing who we are as people and our different cultures and backgrounds and religions. An expression of social cohesion. The many often social engagements that are undertaken are an expression of giving cohesion to the life of our towns and villages in Kirklees. Mr. Mayor, I look forward to the year ahead and carrying out the duties to the best of my ability. And once again, congratulations to you, Mr. Mayor, on your appointment today. And I wish you and the Mayoress a successful and rewarding year ahead. And as I'm third, I had this written down as well. Good luck to Huddersfield Giants on Saturday in the Challenge Cup final, playing in London at Spurs Stadium, and also to Huddersfield Town playing on Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you. Minutes of the previous meeting. I move that the circulated minutes of the meeting of the Council held on 16th March 2022 be approved and signed as a correct record.
I second the motion.
Council will now recess until 3 p.m. and then continue with its formal business here in the main hall. Will guests in the balcony please be seated again for 2:50 p.m. Thank you.
Deputy Lieutenant, members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the worshipful, the Mayor of Kirklees, Councillor Masood Ahmed. Members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the worshipful, the Mayor of Kirklees, Councillor Masood Ahmed.
Seated. Item 4, declarations. I need to put my specs on. I forgot about them. Sorry about that. Specs. Members of any disclosable pecuniary interest which would prevent them from discussing or voting on any item should disclose that interest now. Are there any interests to declare? None. Can I remind any members who have declared an interest to complete a form and submit to the clerk at the end of the meeting, please. Item 5, announcement of the Mayor and Chief Executive.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I would just like to advise of the official return of the election of councillors held on the 5th of May 2022. A schedule of elected councillors has been tabled.
I'm just going back to quickly to minutes of the previous meetings. I could do with a show of hands for the minutes circulated on the 16th of March as proved as a correct record, please. Thank you. I'd like to welcome all councillors to the new municipal year, including new elected councillors, Councillors Anwar, Councillors Crook, Hawkins, Councillor Lawson, Councillor McCarthy, Councillor McGrath, Councillor Perry, Councillor Turner, and Councillor Zaman. Could I please invite any tributes to former councillors? Councillor Andrew Marchington.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Congratulations on the post you've been elected to. I just thought to pay tribute to Councillor Robert Iredale, remind people it's a tribute, not a eulogy. I'd just like to thank the members across the parties who have shown their appreciation for the work that Robert's done. Just remind people that Robert is still working in the communities where he was born and where he's worked and where he's and people still appreciate the hard work that he's done. And we'll continue to do, and I appreciate that as well. I think we as a council will experience the loss of Robert and that insight he's provided, rooted in community experience, and he will be a sad loss. And that's what most people say. He was an absolutely brilliant local councillor, good for the community. And he put the heart of the needs of our communities, a very diverse community in just to the east of the Pennines, at the forefront, but he also put that in the context of Kirklees, which is itself very diverse. And I know colleagues will appreciate the contributions that Robert will have made on their behalf in the various committees and organisations he's been a part of, and he will continue to be a part of those communities, things like KCA and other groups. So I'd just like to say, yeah, thank Robert for that, and on behalf of the people of Goker, on behalf of yourselves for all the hard work he's put in. Thank you.
Congratulations. My tribute is to former Councillor Terry Lyons. Terry has served his local community for over 20 years with this council and with Meltham Town Council, and I've known him for over a decade. It's no surprise that when he lost his seat, I was gutted, and I think not just myself and Paul are going to miss his presence. I think this council will do as well. But Terry will be celebrating his 80th birthday this year, and I suppose if anybody's entitled to a retirement, it's Terry. Terry helped lay the foundations for independent councillors in this council. He's been my mentor and support from before I got elected. He's been a great advocate for working for the ward and keeping a focus on the ward. And in truth, his big project, Meltham Greenway, well, we're very much hopeful that the next stages of that will come in the coming years. Terry is keen still to play his part in that. He's still a councillor with Meltham Town Council. And the Greenway and all its potential is something that I think will be Terry's legacy. So he's often referred to as Mr. Meltham. I think that'd probably be a fair comment. Lots of other members have commented that they're sad to see that Terry's lost, but it's a reality of the roles that we have, and I'm very much hopeful that Terry will have plenty of time, not just for his local community, but also to relax as well. So I would like to wish him all the very best for the future, and I'm sure many of you too would do also. And on that, I'll leave it.
Councillor Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I may also be the 231st person to congratulate you on your year of office. Just to say a word about Councillor Bellamy, former Councillor Bellamy, who was for very many years a great advocate for her part of the world in the Colne Valley, very popular councillor, and one who has many achievements under her belt. She not only was a great advocate for her villagers, but she also delivered a lot as well, and particularly her work with children and young people up those valleys. And to thank her also for her participation in the work of this council, both on the committees and panels she was part of. She was always a regular attender, very hard working, not afraid to put in her two penneth whenever it matters. So I do thank her, and she's a great loss to the Conservative group on this council. Just to say as well, my commiserations with Robert Iredale and Terry Lyons as well, both of whom I've known for a very long time, since I was first elected, both popular and hard-working members, and I wish them the very best for their retirement, and I'm sure they're still working in their communities. And finally, Mr. Mayor, just having said all that, to warmly congratulate their successors and all the new councillors, and we do look forward to working with you for a productive year, this municipal year. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Item 6, apologies for absence. Is there an apologies for absence? Sorry, Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations again from me. We have apologies from Councillor Kath Taylor and Donald Firth. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Munro.
Just Congratulations, Mr Mayor. Yes, we've got apologies from Councillor Paola Davies. Thank you.
Sorry, Councillor Sokol. Got to get used to it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can I first of all congratulate you on becoming Mayor of Kirklees and Councillor Kahabat as your deputy mayor. Thank you. Yeah, I got one apology, Mr. Mayor, Fran Perry. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I bring in the Chief Executive?
Mr Mayor, can I offer Councillor Leslie Warner's apologies too?
Item 7, proposed amendments to contract procedure rules, reference from Corporate Governance and Audit Committee, page 9. Councillor Hussain.
The proposed amendments to the contract procedural rules, reference from Corporate Governance and Audit Committee. So I propose the changes to the contract procedure rules as set out within the report be approved. Is that seconded?
Is that seconded? Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any comments? No. Right to reply, Councillor Hussain. Yeah, can we show of hands, please? That's carried. Thank you. Thank you. I know you'll be coming back. You can just stand there if you want. Item 8, propose amendments to financial procedure rules, reference from Corporate Governance and Audit Committee, page 79. Councillor Hussain.
I, Councillor Hussain, move that the proposed changes to the financial procedure rules as set out within the report be approved. Is that seconded?
Is that seconded? Thank you, Councillor Taylor. Any comments on this matter? None. Right to reply, Councillor Hussain.
No, thank you.
Show of hands, please. That's carried. Thank you. Item 9, proposed amendments to the Council's Constitution, reference from Corporate Governance and Audit Committee, page 125. Councillor Hussain.
That the proposed changes to the Council's Constitution as set out within the report be accepted and that the recommendations as set out at paragraph 6 of the report be approved.
Is that seconded? Thank you, Councillor Taylor. Any comments on this matter? None. Right to reply, Councillor Hussain.
No, thank you.
Can we have a show of hands, please? Thank you. That's carried. Item 10, report of members' allowance panel, reference from Corporate Governance and Audit Committee, page 181. Councillor Hussain.
That the recommendations as set out at paragraph 6 of the report, page 184, be approved. Is that seconded?
Is that seconded? Thank you. Are there any comments on this matter? Yeah. Councillor Lukey.
Congratulations on the office. I really do think that the reorganisation along the lines of primary care networks is a backward step, particularly in North Kirklees. At the moment, we've got a place partnership in Dewsbury. That's just the town of Dewsbury. It's nice and simple. It's replacing 3 place partnerships in North Kirklees with 4, and the boundaries and overlaps and things just seem to be a complete mess with the way they're organised, so I'm not going to be supporting this.
Councillor Hussain, right to reply.
Yes, I think a lot of the play, when we were in the Corporate Governance Audit Committee, it was agreed that a lot of the work that we are already existing and doing will be carried through. Secondly, I have a lot of colleagues coming from public health service background, and the trainee nursing courses that they do offer at the moment do actually look at third sector organisation and participation. So I think this is the right way forward. I think this fits into the model currently for nursing care and also medical professionals. So I do fully support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sen. Can I have show of hands? That's carried. Thank you. Item 11, meetings of the Council 22-23, reference from Corporate Governance and Audit Committee, page 191. Councillor Hussain.
That the schedule of meetings of Council for the 2022 to 2023 municipal year be approved. Is that seconded?
Thank you, Councillor Taylor. Any comments on this matter? Right to reply, Councillor Hussain.
No, thank you.
Show of hands, please. That's carried. Thank you.
And I should have said this at the beginning, but congratulations on your mayorship, Mr. Mayor. I think I'm a bit under pressure here, going through so many, but thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Item 12, to appoint the committees, boards and panels of Council for the 22-23 municipal year, page 195. Councillor Sokal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that approval be given to the establishment of the committees, boards, and panels as listed within this report and according to the Council's constitution.
Is that seconded, Councillor Smith? Thank you, Councillor Smith. Are there any comments on this matter? No comments. Right to reply, Councillor Sokal.
Yeah, move vote, Mr. Chair.
Yep. Show of hands. That's carried. Thank you. Item 13, allocation of seats. I shall deal with this matter in two parts. Firstly, to determine those committees and boards where the requirements of Section 15 and 16 of the Local Government and Housing Act 1989 shall not apply. Councillor Sokal.
Mr. Mayor, I move that requirement of the Section 15 and 16 of the Local Government and Housing Act 1989 shall not apply to the Corporate Parent Board, Corporate Governance and Audit Committee, Overview Scrutiny Management Committee, and Health and Well-Being Board for the ensuing municipal year. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that seconded? Thank you, Councillor Smith. Is there any comments on this matter? Councillor Greaves.
Yeah, move vote.
I'm sure if Councillor Bolt was here, he'd be highlighting the irregularity that's occurred this week in respect of the arrangements for the non-proportional committee on the Overview Scrutiny and Management Committee as to how those seats have been allocated. So there's no suggestion of impropriety at all. If the Conservatives want to do a deal with Labour, that's perfectly fine. It's happened before, and there's no issue with that. One of the concerns, though, is that whenever a deal is done, there's always two sides to it. And doing a deal on scrutiny really risks undermining the independence of scrutiny and how it can properly function. I think we all know, why Labour have been happy to gift the seat. What we don't know is what the price is that's been paid for it by the Conservatives. And I think we need to hear what that price is, because it's fundamental as to whether or not the corporate scrutiny panel is going to be able to function properly. Now, I appreciate that there'll probably be a discussion in private around this, that's fine, but it really ought to be in public. Thank you.
Councillor Pando and then Councillor Watson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Firstly, there are no deals. Let me make that absolutely clear. We've been following the Constitution, everything that's been done on the Council. So if there are any amendments that are going to be put forward, I'd like to hear them, but I can't understand why suddenly this has become an issue now. We are doing whatever we've done in the previous years, and some could argue that we did deal with you, Charles, in the past, or did a deal with the Lib Dems, or indeed with the Greens. So there are no deals. Let me make that clear. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Pando. Councillor Watson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My issue is not with that committee, it's with the Corporate Governance and Audit Committee, and I would suggest that the principles in paragraph 15, subparagraph 5 of the Act should be applied to that committee, and therefore I would oppose the proposal in relation to that committee and propose that that committee should be dealt with separately.
Councillor Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If I'm not mistaken, if any councillor votes against non-proportional arrangements on a committee, then proportional arrangements have to apply. That basically any individual councillor has a veto. So can we just clarify that for the benefit of members?
Thank you, Councillor Lukic. I was about to clarify that. So you're absolutely correct. Notice was given on the agenda that there was a proposal that the 4 committees listed would be non-proportional committees. That's what we've done for the last few years. If one member votes against that, it means that that wouldn't be passed and we would go back to proportional committees if that was the case. I think based on what Councillor Watson said, it would be advisable to take a vote on Corporate Governance and Audit Committee separately.
Councillor Cooper.
There's a reason why we have non-proportionality for overview and scrutiny committee, and that is because the council should seek a range of opinions and views from across the political spectrum to ensure that members across that political spectrum are able to get that view across. And that's an important role for the council. And if the administration of the council decide that they want to interfere with that process for whatever reasons, then that's, I think, diminishing the role of scrutiny. Now, I'm acutely aware of the way these things have come about. I'm very aware of it. And I'm aware that, patronage is one element of special responsibility allowances, and that is a key part of how those things operate. I don't like that, and I've resisted those sort of attempts to, if you like, interfere with the process. So I don't like what's being done, not because it's affected me personally, because it has actually diminished the role of scrutiny, and that interference is something that we're all diminished by.
Councillor Marchington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I mean, it has been the broad principle of this council to seek a wide range of views, I think it's for at least the last 20 years. And that's regardless of whether there's been a majority administration or not. We've had majority administrations 3 times, to my recollection, since 2004. And it is disappointing that for the first time that I can recall, a party has been excluded from overview and scrutiny, the Overview and Scrutiny Management Committee, and that is disappointing. And it is right that we seek a range of views across the council, particularly those views that we do not agree with. And I think our group is certainly disappointed that that has not happened at this time. It should have been, and we've had a lot of talk about discussions taking place about that, and that's what we appreciate. We're not sure that those discussions have taken place across parties and as openly as we would have expected them to be doing, has been as the principal Kirklees Council for a long, long, long time. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Martin. Councillor Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and congratulations. So, I'm really concerned today at the level of accusations that are being levelled against this administration. It's disappointing. Scrutiny is not going to fail. Just because positions aren't allocated or whatever, that is democracy playing out. There's no deal being done, and I think you should apologise, actually. It's about the credibility within this council, because I think things have been done fairly on my part, and I know my leader's part. There's no deal being done, and I'm sorry, Councillor Cooper, I'm going to level this at you. It's not right what you've said here today, and I hope the people out there will understand that this is just you playing politics within the chamber. I'm really sorry about that, but that's how I feel today. It's a disgrace.
If there's no comments, I just want to bring legal into this discussion for a minute. Thank you.
We just want to confirm that the only proposal on the table so far is that we take corporate governance and audit separately as a vote. Yeah?
Okay. Right to reply, Councillor Sokal.
Mr. Mayor, can I make it clear? We haven't made any deal between Conservative group or Labour group. What we are doing for the fairness of cross-party. I think any member who are accusing the Labour administration, I think they are wrong. Yeah. So I'm here to move the vote on this. Thank you, Mayor.
Can we go to the vote on corporate governance, please? Yeah. Does need to support that, Councillor Panda? 5 members need to stand. Yeah, I've got 5. Recorded vote. 5 I've got. Thank you, Councillor.
Okay, so I'm going to call out the names. So remember that what we're still voting on whether. Yes, I'm just about to
come to that, sorry.
I'm just about to explain that.
Julie,
So.
Julie, can we just confirm that that was just that the only thing that was happening then was just to make sure that the vote was recorded? That's why 5 members stood up.
Okay, so we're moving to a recorded vote. I'm going to call out the names. So what we're voting about is whether Corporate Governance and Audit Committee should be non-proportional or not. If anybody votes against that, it means that it will become a proportional committee. If that happens, then we may need to take some more steps after that. But let's do the vote first. I'm going to call out your names in order about whether you are in favour of Corporate Governance and Audit Committee being non-proportionate, because that's the proposal at the moment. Okay? So. You. Okay, so Part 13A is about determining committees and boards where the requirements of section 15 and 16 of the Local Government and Housing Act shall not apply. That means that we are voting for whether proportionality does not apply. If you vote in favour of this, everybody or nobody votes against, it means that Corporate Governance and Audit Committee will remain non-proportionate, okay? So if anybody votes against it, it automatically becomes a proportionate committee. Okay? Is that clear? Does anybody else want any? Okay. So I'm going to go through the names and we'll vote for non-proportionality or against non-proportionality. So, Shabir Pandor.
Julie, can you clarify that one more time because you changed it at the end?
Did I? Sorry.
And you've confused me.
Okay, so what you're voting for here is the committee being non-proportional. If you vote in favour of that and nobody votes against it, it will remain a non-proportionate committee. If anybody votes against it, okay? Okay, so, Councillor Pandor.
For, keep it as it is.
Councillor Hall.
Against.
We don't need to go any further. So we don't need to go any further. Okay, so based on that, it means that Corporate Governance and Audit Committee will become a proportionate committee. As you'll all notice, on the items that you've got with the seats, that have been allocated, we would need to go back and change the members on the committee based on that. So it would be helpful if somebody would move that we would delegate authority to group business managers to go back and look at the seats on that basis and agree.
Councillor Hall.
I will so move that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Second for that. Councillor Watson.
So we need to take a vote.
Sure, yeah.
So can we vote? So to clarify, we're voting that we delegate authority to the group business managers to look at the seat allocations for Corporate Governance and Audit Committee based on proportionality rather than non-proportionality.
Can we have show of hands, please? That's carried. Thank you. Councillor. Can we now vote on Corporate Parenting Board? Please. Show of hands, please. Yeah. Sorry, Councillor Smith.
I'm not sure what we're voting for here. And secondly, are we not taking the scrutiny panels as a threesome for this next part? I'm not sure. I'm confused.
I'll just get that clarified for you.
Okay, so to clarify, the original proposal here was to take a vote on all four of the panels together. We've separated Corporate Governance and Audit Committee. We can take a vote on the rest of the panels and committees about whether they are non-proportionate. We'll vote for all three of them together. So, just a reminder, if you vote in favour of this, then the three committees we've talked about on here, so Overview and Scrutiny Management Committee, the Corporate Parenting Board and Health and Wellbeing Board would remain non-proportionate unless somebody votes against it, okay? So, we can do a roll call or we can ask whether anybody votes against it. That might be the simplest.
Yeah. Anybody for?
Is everybody for? This is for.
Yeah. All for. That's carried.
No, it's has anybody...
I apologize.
Sorry, can we ask if anybody's voting against? Just
So
be clear.
is anybody voting against?
No.
That's carried. Item 13, Part 2. The number of proportion of committee boards and panels. Councillor Sokal.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the number and proportion of members of committees, boards, panels be in accordance with the table scheduled for the agenda item 13.
Is that seconded? Thank you, Councillor Smith. Are there any comments on this matter? Right to reply, Councillor Sokal.
Move vote, Mr. Mayor.
Show of hands. That's carried. Thank you. Item 14, membership of committees, boards and panels. Councillor Sokal.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the membership as set out in the table report be in accordance, be approved, and that the allocation of any outstanding places on any committee, board, and the panel or subsequently amendment be delegated to group business managers.
Is that seconded? Thank you, Councillor Smith. Any comments on this matter? None. Right to reply, Councillor Sokal.
Move vote, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Item 15, dates and times of committees, boards and panels, page 201. Councillor Sokal.
Yeah. Can you both take both? All right. It's all right. When you take it. Yeah, I'll go.
Sorry, I do apologize. I missed that one. Show of hands for item 14. Too keen to get home. That's carried. Thank you. Start again on item 15. Dates and times of committees, boards, panels, page 201. Councillor Sokal.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I move that the dates and times of meetings of committees, boards, panel be in accordance with the schedule at agenda item 15.
Is that seconded? Thank you, Councillor Smith. Any comments on this matter? No comments. Right to reply, Councillor Sokal.
Move the vote, Mr. Mayor.
Can you show of hands, please? That's carried. Thank you. Item 16, appointment of members to joint authorities, page 217. Councillor Sokal.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the recommendation as set out in paragraph 5 of the report, page 220, be approved.
Is that seconded? Thank you, Councillor Smith. Any comments on this matter? Right to reply, Councillor Sokal.
Nothing, Mayor.
Okay.
Move vote.
Show of hands, please. That's carried. Thank you. Item 17, appointments to outside bodies and other committees, page 223, Councillor Sokal.
Which item, Mr. Mayor, say?
Item 17. You've done 16.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah. Mr. Mayor, I move that the recommendation as set out at the paragraph 5 of the page 225 be approved.
Is that seconded? Thank you, Councillor Smith. Any comments on this matter? No comments. Right to reply, Councillor Sokal.
Move the vote, Mr. Mayor.
Can we show of hands, please? And that's carried. Thank you. Item 18, appointment of spokespersons on joint committees and external bodies to reply to oral questions and council meetings, page 231. Councillor Sokal.
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, I move that the recommendation as set out paragraph 5 of the report, page 232 be approved.
Is that seconded? Thank you, Councillor Smith. Any comments on this matter? No. Right to reply, Councillor Sokal.
Move the vote, Mr. Mayor.
A show of hands, please. Thank you. That's carried. Item 19, appointment of chairs of committees, panels and boards and the lead councillors for primary care networks and local health improvements for 22-23 municipal year. The schedule of proposed chairs and lead members has been tabled. I propose that the nominations are put to vote on block and that the one contested position is dealt with by separate vote. To begin with, therefore, please can we vote on the appointment of all non-contested positions? Councillor. Yes. Councillor Luke, you can vote.
Should be quick. I think there's a mistake on this because 3 Centres PCN is based Mayfield, Ravensthorpe and Aitlands. Greenwood, not to be confused with Greenwood Centre in Ravensthorpe, Greenwood's based in Huddersfield. So I think that Councillor Homewood and Councillor Anwar have been put next to the wrong ones and they need to be swapped back over. Right, need a minute just to check that. But I'm sure that is the wrong way around.
We'll just...
Should we just adjourn?
We just adjourn.
Members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the worshipful, the Mayor of Kirklees, Councillor Masood Ahmed.
Please be seated. I'm just going to pass you on to the Chief Executive to clear the item 19.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And can I offer my sincere thanks to Councillor Lukic for being the person that does detail better than most of us officers. So thank you for that. Okay, so what I'd like to just pick up in terms of the sheet that you've been tabled is a couple of things. First thing is that the primary care network that is titled Batley and Birkinshaw should be titled Batley and Birstall. That the 3 centres, the proposed lead councillor for that should be Councillor Ammar Anwar, and for the Greenwood primary care network, the proposed lead councillor for that is Councillor James Homewood.
Thank you. The schedule of the proposed chairs and lead members has been tabled. I propose that the nominations are put to vote en bloc and that the one contested position is dealt by a separate vote. To begin with, therefore, please can we vote on the appointment of all non-contested positions? Councillor Sokol.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the appointment of chairs of the committees, panels be in accordance with the schedule as circulated to all members of the council, and that a separate vote be taken in respect of the PCN and local health improvement lead members. Thank you.
Is that seconded? Thank you, Councillor Smith. And any comments on this matter? No. Right to reply, Councillor Sokol.
Thank you. Move.
Thank you. Yeah. We'll now take a vote in regards to the lead member, primary care network and health improvement. I apologise.
Take a vote first.
Can we show of hands? That's carried. Thank you. We'll now take a vote in regards to the lead member, primary care network and local health improvement, Batley and Birkinshaw. Sorry, I beg your pardon. I didn't. Birstall. Can we have show of hands? So I've got 2 nominations, Councillor Zaman and Councillor Mark Thompson. Shall we which one? Zaman? Yep.
Mr. Mayor, my group has put forward Councillor Habiman Zaman for Batley and Birstall. Can we take a vote on that? And I think there's an amendment from the Conservatives. But can we first take a vote on our nomination, Councillor Habiman Zaman?
Yep. Can we show of hands? That's carried. Yep. Numbers. And based on the numbers, Councillor Zaman has won that vote. Thank you. And that's carried. Yeah. The meeting of the council has now concluded. Please remain seated for the meetings of Licence and Safety Committee, Overview and Scrutiny Management Committee, Standards Committee and Strategic Planning Committee.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. We'll begin with Overview and Scrutiny Management Committee. So once I read your name, members, if you could please stand if you're on this committee. That's Councillors Hussain, Ramsey, John Taylor, Marchington, and the Chair is Councillor Elizabeth Snage.
Members, I move that the meeting be held in public. I move the appointment of A, Calderdale and Kirklees Joint Health Scrutiny Committee. B, West Yorkshire Joint Health Overview and Scrutiny Committee. C, Health and Adult Social Care Scrutiny Panel. D, Children's Scrutiny Panel. E, Economy and Neighbourhood Scrutiny Panel. F, Corporate Scrutiny Panel. G, Ad Hoc Scrutiny Panel, Residential Housing, Stock, Health and Safety Compliance. And H, Ad Hoc Scrutiny Panel, Regeneration. I move that the panels and committees as set out at 2 above shall not be in accordance with the requirements of Section 15 and 16 of the Local Government and Housing Act 1989. I move that the Ad Hoc Scrutiny Panel, Residential Housing, Stock, Health and Safety Compliance be the same membership as the 21-22 municipal year to enable continuity, and that the reappointment of the co-opted member be approved. And I move that the Ad Hoc Scrutiny Panel, Regeneration, be re-established on a ratio of 1-1-1-1, and that the appointment of members be delegated to group business managers. Is that seconded? Councillor Martin, is second? No. Can I have a seconder? Okay, thank you. Please vote by show of hands. All those in favour of the Overview and Scrutiny Management Committee only. Members, all those in favour? All those against? All those abstaining? Of the Overview and Scrutiny Management Committee only. Okay. Is that carried then, do I take it?
Yeah, that's carried.
Carried, thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, we'll do Licensing and Safety Committee next. Again, members, if you could stand, please. Councillors Anwar, Crook, Hawkins, Homewood, Joe Lawson, Sokol, Adam Zaman, David Hall, Watson, Greg, Marchington, Allison, and the Chair, Councillor Amanda Pinnock.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations on your appointment. Okay, so I move that the meeting be held in public. I move that the appointment of the licensing panel and regulatory panel for the ensuing year, and that these panels should be in accordance with the requirements of Sections 15 and 16 of the Local Government and Housing Act 1989, but that members of the panel be drawn from the membership of the Licensing and Safety Committee. Is that seconded? Thank you. Please vote by show of hands. That's carried there. I move that the chair of each panel shall be the chair of the Licensing and Safety Committee. Is that seconded? Thank you. Show of hands. Lovely. Mr. Mayor, I think that's carried. Thank you.
Thank you. Standards Committee members, councillors Homewood, McCarthy, Sokol, Bolts isn't here, Watson, Monroe, and the Chair, Councillor Joe Lawson.
Good afternoon and congratulations to Masood. I move that the meeting be held in public. I move the appointment of the Standards Subcommittee for the ensuing municipal year and that it shall not be in accordance with the requirements of sections 15 and 16 of the Local Government and Housing Act 1989. But that the membership of the subcommittee be drawn from the membership of the Standards Committee. Is this seconded? If we could please vote by show of hands for.
That's carried, thank you.
Thank you.
And finally, it's Strategic Planning Committee, so that's councillors Paul Davis, Patterson, Sokol, Armour, Thompson, Andrew Pinnock, and the Chair, Councillor Steve Hall.
Right. I move the meeting be held in public, and 2, I move the appointment of the planning subcommittees for Huddersfield and Everyone area for the ensuing municipal year, that the membership be as set out in the report circulated at agenda item 19, and that the chair of the committee of Everyone is Councillor Gwen Lowe. The chair of Huddersfield Area Committee is Councillor Ulla. Is that seconded? Those for? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you, members.
That concludes today's meeting. Thank you very much, members. Have a lovely evening.
All rise.